Having a chance to go back and kind of review the film, kind of what stood out to you, good and bad?
Yeah, really proud of the guys for the way that they played and they fought. Our challenge and the thing that we wanted to emphasize was just the physical battle, right, and making sure that we won. We were the tougher football team, so I was proud of that. Obviously, as the game went on, as I go back and look, I'm not oblivious to everybody's opinions and stuff. I'm very critical of myself, and so as I go back and review it and study myself and go, hey, where should you have done something different? I was probably too conservative in the second half, right, and kind of stuck with the run game stuff. But really, it's hard when you're fighting that mental battle of, hey man, you keep calling these runs and they keep popping for 6, 8, and 14, and you kind of talk yourself, making sure that you're not being too complicated. But as I look back on it, some of the mistakes that I felt like I made was needing to be more aggressive in some of those moments where we didn't put those guys away early enough. And that's, just straight up, just me being too conservative and not aggressive enough.
You kind of get, Xavier back. Tulu had a good game as well. How do you kind of try to balance, playing Creed, but also having guys in front of him? How do you kind of approach that?
Yeah, with those guys, I mean, look, we've got some talented receivers, and when you get everybody back and everybody's healthy, man, those every rep is of the utmost importance. The detail of it, the effort, the intensity. Creed is somebody that's obviously going to be involved in our game plans every week, and now it's just. We got a lot of guys that are getting healthy and getting back, and it's great for competition. Like I've told you guys before, it's always sharpening, our skills whenever those guys have to go out and compete and know there's a little bit of pressure on, not having a bust on this certain route or having a drop pass or whatever. That extra pressure, I think, intensifies our play.
The overtime touchdown, how much of that was what you read into the defense in that situation, and what was Will's input on that play?
Yeah, we caught a little screen over there, which, I held it for too long. Felt like it was going to be a good play, especially a 3rd and long play. And we kind of got backed up there into a 2nd and long, and I was expecting a little bit of pressure from Johnny Nansen. And so, the guys, Pittman made a heck of a play. Will did a great job of just holding that thing and letting the defense come to him. So really proud of those guys. I think they would have executed whatever play was called.
We saw Malik Ellis get the most snaps out of all the tight ends, and on Saturday, Coach Arnett talked earlier about just his willingness to, do what was asked him. Obviously, he was got recruited as a lineman. Yes, where have you kind of seen him, progress, throughout the start of the season, and what have you just been, impressions of him?
Yeah, Malik has really, really grown. Obviously, we moved him over to a position that he wasn't familiar with. And the thing that strikes me about Malik Ellis is he's a very unselfish young man. Whatever you ask him to do, and I thought he played a great game and, showed that toughness and that grit and the physicality that we needed out of him.
You have Mike Wright 2 games now. He hadn't thrown a pass. And like Arizona completely sold out every time he was on the field. Like they brought 6 and sometimes 7 to shut down the run. The guy was a quarterback in the SEC. Why is he not getting more respect with all that?
Yeah, it's really just we had some throws in for Mike that I just didn't call, you'll see some throws out of Mike in the future.
But along those lines too, like how careful are you not to show too much, but at the same time win the football game?
Yeah, I really, to be honest with you, it's week by week. You just try to go 1-0 every week, and sure, there's things that you don't show. There's a lot of that game plan that didn't get called on Saturday night as well. And it just carries over. We try to really focus on time on task and things that we've practiced and are cleaning up and detailing, that might fit into the next week's scheme. Just try to carry some of that stuff over and, just continue to challenge ourselves and myself in particularly with creativity. And but man, it's one game at a time. Just trying to win one game.
What are your impressions of this LSU defense?
LSU, I think, is really talented, really talented. The Mekhi Wingo kid is a great player inside, and they got the Mason Smith kid back now that's 6'6", 315, a really talented guy. I think their linebacker core, they really run exceptionally well and run to the football. They're well coached, they're detailed. Obviously they have some transfers in the back end, but those guys have played well, and they're a good bunch. So, defensively, I think they're solid, and it'll be a great challenge for us. Like I said, we're excited about it, but man, they've got some real talent on defense.
Follow up on Pittman, obviously had the play of the season so far for you guys. You say about the work he's just put in, and in that running backs room, which is obviously getting a lot more work in this new system since he came over from JUCO.
Yeah, and Pittman's a great example of, he probably hadn't had as many opportunities as some of the other guys, but he took full advantage of his opportunity. All right, we gave him a little screen pass there in the overtime, man, and like I tell the guys, every football play, right, has a history and a life of its own. Right, every single football play, no matter if it's junior high level, Super Bowl, whatever level of football, every play has a life of its own. And, so the importance of executing the details, and you never know when your play might go down in history. And I think Pittman is a living example of that right there of, I don't even know how many opportunities he got, but I know it wasn't as much as the other running backs. But he took full advantage of his opportunity when it came.
And then one more, following up on something Coach Arnett said earlier today, he was talking about how he was a bit too conservative after one of those turnovers. I think it was in the second quarter. He told you guys to run a little bit more, get the defense some rest. Is that more his decision, your decision? How do you work together on things like that?
We work together on it. To be honest with you, I mean, that's something that I'm conscious of, trying to play complementary football, right? Whenever the defense has got a long drive. But I mean, it's on me, my responsibility to get the offense to score points, and I should have been more aggressive in my approach. And like I said, I'm no different than the players, right? I go back and I'm critical of myself on film and where I need to make corrections and improve each week, and I'll be better going forward.
Thank you, Coach.